Nagsimula ako bilang isang photographer. Parang naging routine na yung trabaho ko. Minsan nadaanan ko ang kabukid, naisip ko paano kaya ako makakatulong sa lugar na ito. Kasi naniniwala ako sa advokasya nila. Ngayon na nag-full-time na ako sa trabahong to, parang mas naging fulfilling na kasi nakahanap ako ng paraan paano ako makakatulong sa kalikasan at sa tao. Ang nature ang pinakamagaling nating teacher sa lahat ng bagay. Sa panahon ngayon, ang mga tao ay disconnected na sa kalikasan. So wala na silang pakialam. Permakultura ay isang sistema ng pagdidisenyo na hindi lamang ang landscape ang dinidesign natin. So andyan din pumapasok ang pagdidisenyo natin ng mga produkto, ang pagdidisenyo natin ng organisasyon ng mga tao. So dyan pumapasok ang biomimicry kasi naniniwala tayo na ang kalikasan ay perfectly designed na.
At Gallery, we're always on the lookout for fresh, native produce and finding interesting ways to turn them into dishes in the kitchen. We learn about the Kabiokit Foundation and they actually help us set up our own small garden where we can grow some ingredients. Rice is the most commonly grown crop in the Philippines, but the soil and climate offers opportunities for more options. I met up with Jake Bautista at Kabiokit in Cabiao to get a better idea of the produce they had, how they implemented permaculture in their farm, as well as to look at how they incorporate it into their food.
Good morning, Chef Carlos.
Good morning.
Welcome to Kabiokit.
Thank you very much.
In a permaculture site, we look at trash as resources. We segregate our trash into metal, tins, plastic, paper, and biodegradables. We use paper to feed the vermicompost, and the metal and tins we try to recycle as much as possible. There's no trash going out of this place. All of these used to be rice paddies. We converted the land into a very sustainable.
And how long was that ago?
I think that's 20 years
20
ago.
years ago.
Yeah, we planted several types of plants and trees here. We also have a pond here which has tilapia, catfish, mudfish.
So Jake, what is the main purpose of this pond?
This is a man-made pond. In permaculture, we try to identify the lowest point of a landscape. This is where all the water runoff goes to. This is like a catch basin.
And then is there a season in the year na this is low in water or absolutely no water?
There are parts that do get dry, and we harvest the soil to add to the plots.
Because all of the nutrients.
Yes. This is our vegetable garden. We have several varieties like this oregano, ginger. This is an arrowroot. This is a starchy plant. Are you familiar with the oraro, the delicacy?
The biscuit. Yeah, okay, okay.
You get that from pounding the root crop.
Actually, nice. And what is the purpose of having this arranged like this?
In permaculture, we believe that the more edges the plant has, the more productive it will be. Because like this one, it traps water and eventually the water will seep inside. Although this is a vegetable garden, we integrated several insect-repelling plants like this marigold and lemongrass, which is good to repel mosquitoes.
Are these
and other
edible
pests.
also?
Yes, you can put this in a salad. So number one rule for companionship planting is If it tastes good together, they will grow good together. Yes.
Okay, okay. Thank you for the tip.
We'll now go to zone 3, which is the rice fields. We are practicing SRI here, which is a system of rice intensification. We rarely get sufficient rainfall. SRI is like getting more out of fewer plants.
So it's more productive. in
It's
that
more
sense.
productive with lesser water and plants.
That's nice.
We have 4 varieties of rice here. Red rice, black rice, brown rice, and white rice. Since this is the rice capital of the Philippines, naturally the delicacy would be based on rice. We'll show you how to make a buro, which is fermented rice
Oh,
hide.
fantastic, yeah. Let's go.
Chef Carlos, we have a visitor right now. She's going to teach us the traditional way of making fermented rice.
Good morning po.
Ito po yung ginagamit para sa pagburo po ng isda.
Anong isda po yan?
Tilapia po ito.
Tilapia.
Ito po yung unang prepare sa paggawa ng buro. Aalis ng palikpik, tapos dadainin ko na po ito.
Mga ilang araw ho siya buburo sa asin, if ever.
Sa amin po kasi yung 15 days para mas masarap.
Fermentation has been an Asian technique. Imagine life before we all had refrigerators and everything else. So one of the main process of preservation is through vinegar and through salt. So ito, ba't natin inaasinan ngayon?
Para tumalab na sa laman.
Para at least yung saltiness siya maano nila.
Kasi yung asin ng sangkap nun para maburo.
Okay.
Diba nung unang panahon wala namang rep.
Parang ito yung parang preservation niya na natural preservation niya. No?
Ito naman po ay huhugasan po natin sa tubig na may suka.
Apo.
Para po talagang malinis. Pwede nyo
Walang lansa.
amuyin,
Apo.
pisil-pisilin. Hindi po kayo matatakot na
Kainin siya kasi malinis na po siya talaga. No? Naasinan na, nasukaan pa. No?
kahit po virus matatakot din. Pag gusto po natin talaga ng masarap at malinis sa pagkain, talaga pong sakripisyo. Hindi po ganun kadali.
Kailangan, importante yung proseso talaga, no?
Hindi po katulad yan ng mga junk food o kaya yung po mga
Good things take time. Talaga. The Buro process is a very simple fermentation. As you can see, it has only 3 basic ingredients, which is just the salt, the rice, and the fish. And you just use a proper technique and then just give it time. It will unfold different dimensions of flavor through fermentation. So it's simple and also technical at the same time. Ano pong gagawin natin ate?
kukuha po tayo ng asin.
Opo. Normally, ganong kadami po na asin sa
Okay na po ito.
isang kamay lang para sa ano.
Tapos, kung gusto niyo po, ayan, umpisahan niyo na.
Iikot-ikot po.
Gaganin niyo po yung asin para tumalab sa kanin.
Mm.
Pero sabi ko nga kanina, hindi pwedeng maputi yung buro nito kasi yung ginamit nating rice, brown siya. Kukunin natin yung isda,
Opo.
tapos papalaman na natin ng ganito.
Okay.
Tapos, ito, lalagay sa ganon. Ilalagay mo na ang isda at kanin.
Parang sandwich siya ng kanin.
Sandwich siya.
Mm. Wow, this looks good.
We usually eat this by wrapping it with mustasa leaves.
And then we place like amount of rice inside.
Yeah, and we try to roll it.
Wow, so good. You can really taste the fermentation there, the acidity, the salt. It's just well balanced. The mustasa really give that spice to it. So in every household here, you can see like jars of buro around, and you can also like experiment with your buro. You know, some people would like to put a bit of chili also, or ginger, or also lemongrass also to flavor it. But traditionally, it's just really onion and garlic. The buro process that we learned earlier opens a lot of possibilities. First is the fermentation process. Here they use salt to start the fermentation. Imagine inoculating bacteria that can actually grow in like the koji that they do in Japan. And secondly also, the use of the rice. Trying out different kinds of rice and with the same fermentation might end up a different result.
Traditionally, buro is eaten with a piece of fish and also wrapped in mustard leaf. We don't want to say that we replicate the dish, but this is more an inspiration. We wanted to play in those kind of flavors. For the rice, we will be fermenting tinawan rice. It's a local heirloom rice that we have here. This rice has been fermenting for 5 days already, so we can smell it now. It has that sour note, and also it starts to develop flavor after the fermentation. And then after, we're gonna cook it with tomato, ginger, onion, garlic. And then for the broth, we put tomato juice for that extra acidity and also sweetness of the tomato. Then after, we're gonna cook the fish that we wrap in banana leaf directly into charcoal. After 2 minutes, we turn it around. It gives smokiness to the fish without even seeing any grill marks. So because the leaves kind of encapsulate all the smoke that you get outside of the charcoal. We separated the skin. Instead of just being grilled, we're gonna fry it separately, so at least you have a different texture. For the mustard leaves, we're gonna serve it fresh, and the other one is charred. Plus, just an additional element that we wanted to put is some pickled onion as well, to give the crunchiness and that acidity. So it's focused more on the fermentation, but at the same time highlighting a little bit more of the acidity of the dish. My main takeaway really from our trip to Caballocid is that through the principles of permaculture, anyone can learn to grow food from scratch and incorporate it in their kitchen. There is a wealth of endemic fruits and vegetables here in the Philippines that people aren't really fully aware of, and even more ways to prepare them, which is what we try to show today with our dish.